ahead and call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Chris Brown? Here. Rob Cruz?
Present.
Amy Grantham? Nancy Hopper?
Present.
Katie Jess? Here. John Prouty?
Here.
Melissa Smith?
Present. Could you all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very nice. Okay, in front of you, you have the previous minutes for May 15th of this year. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Prouty?
Aye.
Melissa Smith?
Aye. Next, you have the agenda in front of you. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Prouty?
Aye.
Melissa Smith?
Aye. Next is the opportunity for the audience. Is there anyone who would like to make any comments?
Come on, one time.
You guys are all great and school's out for summer.
Good job.
Next on the agenda are reports, board reports. We have one from Chris Brown.
Of course, I didn't bring any notes with me. They're at home. We had the meeting, the notes that, the minutes or whatever, the reports from Mark and Maria are in the presentation, and those are pretty much as you read them. They had their, the iConnect school had their graduation on a Friday, whatever day that was. I got to speak and be a part of that, and got to be part of their senior presentations, and it was just cool. I just love that school, and I want to just say that it's been a pleasure being with BOCES. I'm loving it. So, there we go.
Okay. Does anyone else on the board have a report? All right, moving right along. Superintendent's report, Mr. Sanders.
Okay, thank you. We had talked about having a board retreat. I would like to see what you guys' thoughts are on dates and times. One of the things I'd like to do is I'd like to invite Brett Miles to come facilitate that meeting. I'd like to revisit mission, vision, kind of look at some of that a little bit, what it means to us, set some goals, look at some other things like hiring a staff. And it seems to me like it'd be about a 2 or 3 hour kind of session if we can find a date to do that. It can be in lieu of our July meeting, it can be before our July meeting. Brett was supposed to send me some dates today, but he got busy and didn't do that. So I could probably send like a doodle poll if you guys want, or something like that, to put a date together, and it might end up being a special meeting. Is everyone okay with that, or should we try to tack it on to a meeting that we already have?
The doodle poll sounds like a really good idea.
Okay, perfect. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to put on it is not here, but I forgot about it. Is that tomorrow and Wednesday, we're actually having all the admin team come in for 2 days of training for balanced leadership. It's a version of McCrell's research, but we're bringing in a lot of different models of like CBAM and some different perspectives to. It's a training on how to lead people through change, and how to get people to basically feel like the change is their idea and support it, and it's really good. It was great training for me 15 years ago. It was so good that I got trained by McCrell to do it. So we're doing it over the next 2 days, and Brett's going to come and help me do it. We partnered up and did that for many years for many different administrative teams, and now we're going to bring it to Fort Morgan. So that's my report. Unless you have questions.
Moving along to the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Assessment, Dr. Frasco.
Just a couple things. First and foremost, today was the first official day of Boys and Girls Club, and we had the Terry Adams and Emily from Greeley come, and we did like a tiny little ribbon cutting thing, but great attendance that first day, and then also today was the launch of Migrant Summer School at Columbine, and so things are buzzing for June, the month of June. You'll have a discussion and action item for the consolidated application. Of course, that's every year for federal programs. Hopefully you read the awesome document, and if you have questions, I'd be happy to entertain. Matthew McLean and I had an opportunity last week to go to a speaker. Her name is Tina Bogren, and she does a lot of work on educator self-care. And it was waitlisted by 100 people, and so we were able to go, and she was phenomenal. And so just talking about educator wellness and self-care and how it does tie into student achievement, really important stuff. So Matthew and I are hoping we can bring some of those things forward for this fall. And then finally, the Lincoln's assessment of measures as an AEC. They have their alternate things that they submit for NWA and returning student rate, as you see on the agenda tonight. And Vicki did call me as she completed them last week, and there is a significant change from last year to the positive for both achievement growth and also just overall how they're doing at Lincoln. Obviously, it was telling when they had 10 graduates, so good work for Lincoln. Questions?
Thank you. Next, we have our Chief Financial Officer, who is joining us from Texas by Zoom, Ms. Miller.
Hello, and happy just from San Antonio. I just have to say this is one of the best conferences I've attended. Really great information, and I look forward to discussing the budget with you all in the discussion section. I hope that you found this informative. I really love this format. It's radically different from before, but hopefully it gives you information that you can process and make decisions from. So I really want your feedback. So if I need to make changes to make it better for you, I can do that.
Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Miller?
Was there a report tonight?
No, it was just the one that she included in her email to us last week.
Oh, I was out of town last week.
I was too, yeah.
I love the
Well, I have
report
one.
format. It was good.
I could understand it.
Yeah.
Those of us that did not read it in depth last week will read it soon.
I like the graph format.
It was easier to read, yeah, so. More engaging.
Okay, anything else for Tony? Thank you, Tony.
Okay, thank you.
Next up, we have Human Resources Director, Dr. Childress.
Yeah, thank you. It's summertime, so it's professional development time. So CDE does a kind of a series of trainings, and I've done a couple of Title IX pieces with them. Last Thursday, I was lucky enough to drag Mr. Frasco with me, and he and I had some good quality time to talk through what it means to be a Title IX coordinator and some of the issues that he may be taking a look at in the future. Hopefully they're ones that are manageable. So he and I are working pretty closely together to make sure that there's a smooth transition for the district. So there you go.
Okay, thank you. Moving along, discussion items. Discussion item A, 2023-2024 consolidated application for ESEA program funds. Is there any discussion to be had about this? My only ask is that maybe next time we can have it like where the pages are all like on the same side, so we don't like look at them
Same
upside
direction.
down.
Oh, they weren't?
No.
That will happen next. That probably was maybe my scanning capability.
Yeah, I was like scanned, I probably scanned it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's why I'm not in charge of the copier most days, most times.
I hear ya.
I didn't.
hear ya.
I didn't.
Did you even stand on your head to read some of it?
No, I did not. gotten dizzy.
I'd be happy to rescan it in the correct format. Oh my gosh.
Is there any other discussion about that? Okay. Discussion item B, policy GCAB, that's the administrative staff positions. This is the third reading, so we will be taking action on that in our action items. Any discussion? All right, discussion item C, 2023-2024 school handbooks. You have all the handbooks and all the summary of changes there. Any discussion about that? I think it looks like for the majority of them, it's just dealing with the 4-day week.
I think the only comment I had was on the middle schools, I don't know if we want to get in the business of confiscating cell phones. That seems problematic.
Oh, like now?
Confiscating cell phones.
You're doing it all.
I was gonna say they're already doing it, aren't they? Like,
Well, for
wasn't
a
that?
week. Keep them for one day, keep them for a third offense, keep them for a week. I mean, if we're taking them and turn over to the parents, that might be one thing, but I don't know if I want the liability of storing people's cell phones and then they show up and say, that's not my cell phone, or.
Right.
Well, and I think the other issue too that we have to consider in that
Got some privacy issues going on.
privacy issues and also property issues, because it's not the student's property.
It may not be the student property.
Right.
Well, there's privacy issues, like you have stuff on your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I just find it problematic that we're confiscating cell phones.
My only question is, what is the policy now? Do we know?
I don't know, it was in changes is what I read,
Right.
so that's why.
It's on page 13.
I didn't know what it was. I mean, I understand trying to keep the cell phone out of the classroom, keep the head out of the cell phone. I get that. I don't know if that's the proper solution. Just a question.
So I have seen situations where they'll first offense take for the day, pick it up, second offense take for a day, parents have to pick it up, third offense take for a week, and then the parents have to get it or something along those lines. But those are hard to enforce,
Yeah.
the week long. So I'll talk to Ted.
Because I know having a middle schooler, they're required to leave them in the lockers during the school day. You're not even supposed to have them on their person.
Well, and I think they are gonna change that to backpacks. Or backpack.
What's that?
So I think they're changing that it can be left in the backpack. That doesn't have to be the locker. It says, I mean, there is, in the event of a third, this is the previous, in the event of a third habitual offense, discipline may include loss of backpack privilege, mandatory use of lockers, change of schedule, ISS, et cetera.
Well, we all know from some of the school tragedies that students having access to cell phones can be an important safety issue as well.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, they don't- Yeah, it's catch-22. I mean, kids calling from school saying, we have a shooter in here.
Right. Or you have other issues.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Okay.
Damn social media. I tell you.
Yeah.
I don't have to be worried about a phone, so thank God.
Okay, is there any other discussion about the handbooks? All right. Next is D, policies, second reading. You have in front of you policies EF, EF-E-1, EF-E-2, EFC, EFEA, EFEA-E. These are the nutrition programs. Kind of could be a moot point, but just in case the free lunches are taken away again, we will have policies that are updated if needed.
So if with the free lunches, are the students getting reimbursed if they have monies on their accounts now, or what is that? Have we addressed that?
I believe they do if they request it.
We have to request.
I had a conversation with Ashley, and she said, depending on what grade they're in, she's recommending that they also leave some money on their account because it's not covering kids if they like additional milk or seconds, then they're is a charge for that. And then the high school has the à la carte, so they can purchase food through the à la carte, and that will be at a charge. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's been discussed anyway.
Yeah, and I still think if the parent calls and requested it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, about that.
Okay, any other discussion about that? Oh, there we go. Discussion item E, policies, district revisions, first reading on these. Do you want to go over why we're revising some of
Yeah,
these?
so there's essentially two policies and an exhibit. The first policy, we're looking at staff ethics code or conflict of interest, and that is to look at changing some verbiage in there so that we'll allow a spouse to work in the building, but I wanted to just read something like they won't supervise them directly. And so I think that policy may have seen its time come and go, given circumstances, given all those things, and the fact that we have, in the elementary it'd be a little more difficult, but in secondary we have multiple supervisors that can do the job, so I'd like to recommend that. The KEC and KEF and KEFE, those all have to do with people coming to the school district with complaints about materials that we don't have in the libraries. As it currently sits, the state statute allows anybody in the state of Colorado to have standing if they wanted to complain, and actually could be anywhere in the nation. And right now, I believe the number I hear is there's about 11 people in the nation right now that are really spearheading these book banning kinds of conversations. And so you can get a complaint from Florida and have to follow up with that. So I'd like to see, as we're going to, was a recommendation of well, it was a thought that was discussed at our meeting with the BOCES, with Colter about who can have standing in those situations. And we would like to bring that down to our local community and say if you reside in the school district, that you can, that then you have standing to be able to come in. You can always file it, but if you're going to file it from Florida, we're going to say thanks for your interest in, but if you file it from inside the district boundaries of Morgan County, we have to go through our process then. And so this is just the first reading, so we didn't really make a lot of, did we make some changes in it?
We didn't make changes, it's just the first review.
But I want to then take it and run it through our attorney and make sure that we're okay. It is trying to be more proactive than reactive. So.
And that was Coulter Bump's suggestion,
Oh, yeah.
and she is attorney, so
Yeah.
yeah, it should work.
I just want to make sure that the language that I'm putting in there
Right.
is appropriate.
Gotcha. Okay, any more discussion about that? All right, moving on to the consent agenda, personnel action report and claims list of checks for both March 2023 and April 2023. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown,
Aye.
Rob Cruz,
Aye.
Nancy Hopper,
Aye.
Katie Jess,
Aye.
John Prady,
Aye.
Melissa Smits.
Aye. Action item B, policy GC, oh wait, sorry. Moving on, right back up. Moving on to the action items. Action item A, 2023-2024 consolidated application for ESEA program funds. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown,
Aye.
Rob Cruz,
Aye.
Nancy Hopper,
Aye.
Katie Jess,
Aye.
John Prady,
Aye.
Melissa Smits.
Aye. Action item B, policy GCAB, administrative staff positions, third reading. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown,
Aye.
Rob Cruz,
Aye.
Nancy Hopper,
Aye.
Katie Jess,
Aye.
John Prady,
Aye.
Melissa Smits.
Aye. Action item C, 2023-2024 school handbooks. What is the pleasure of the board?
I'd move to approve the exception of the middle school. I'd like some feedback on the change before we approve that handbook.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve all but the Fort Morgan Middle School. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Proudy?
Aye.
Melissa Smits?
Aye. Action item D, 2022-2023 actual assessment of measures for Lincoln High School. Is that, those dates are correct? 22, 23? Okay.
No, that's correct.
It's, yeah, it's the actual assessment, right? Okay. Got it. This year.
Yes, yes.
2022-2023 actual assessment of measures for Lincoln High School. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Proudy?
Aye.
Melissa Smits?
Aye. Advanced planning, the next Board of Education meeting is June 19th, 2023. And we will see when we're going to have a potential retreat or special meeting based on a doodle poll. Closing activities, I don't have here any evaluation, but I think if you all reflected for yourselves about how we did, that would be fantastic. And so, if there's nothing further before this board, we are adjourned at 7:21.
Sweet.